Most prisoners count days until freedom. Sergei Mavrodi counted money. From a freezing cell in Vladimir Central Prison, one of Russia's harshest maximum security facilities, Sergei Mavrodi ran a financial empire that spanned 110 countries. No internet access. No phone privileges. Just a prison-issued laptop without connectivity. And yet, somehow, he moved millions of dollars daily. By the time authorities figured out how he was doing it, over 10 million people worldwide had invested in his schemes. The total damage? Over $10 billion. All orchestrated from behind bars. Sergei Mavrodi wasn't a drug lord. Wasn't a mob boss. He was a mathematician who understood something the prison system didn't. That the most dangerous weapon isn't a gun or a knife. It's an idea. And ideas don't need internet connections to spread. They just need believers. This is the true story of the world's most successful prison entrepreneur. The man who proved that bars and walls can't contain ambition. The financial mastermind who turned a 4.5-year prison sentence into his most profitable business venture. Vladimir Central Prison, 2007 to 2011. The empire built from Cell 47. Welcome to Sergei Mavrodi's prison office. He ran a $1 billion scam from inside one of Russia's worst prisons. If you want to see how he did it without internet, subscribe now. This story is wilder than any movie. January 13, 2007. Sergei Mavrodi arrives at Vladimir Central Prison. He's 51 years old. Convicted of fraud. Sentenced to 4.5 years. His crime? Running MMM, a pyramid scheme that defrauded 15 million Russians of an estimated $1.5 billion in the 1990s. Most men arriving at Vladimir Central are broken, terrified. This is one of Russia's toughest prisons. 170 miles east of Moscow. Winter temperatures reaching minus 30 degrees Celsius. Overcrowded cells. Brutal guards. Violent inmates. Sergei Mavrodi walks in calmly, like he's checking into a hotel. The intake officer reads his file. Mathematician. Former parliament member. Founder of MMM Financial Pyramid. Fugitive for 8 years before capture. All correct, Sergei confirms. Any special skills we should know about? I'm good with numbers. The officer laughs. Numbers won't help you here, mathematician. This is Vladimir Central. Survival is physical, not intellectual. Sergei doesn't argue. Just signs his paperwork. Cell assignment, Block 7, Cell 47. Cellmate, Viktor Sokolov, serving 12 years for armed robbery. As Sergei walks the long corridor to his cell, he's already calculating. Cell dimensions, guard rotations, prisoner demographics, communication patterns. Other prisoners see walls and bars. Sergei sees a network, a system, an opportunity. He's been planning this for 8 years. While on the run, while hiding, while plotting his return, prison wasn't a setback. It was part of the strategy. 4.5 years. 1,643 days. That's all the time he needs to build something bigger than MMM ever was. The cell door closes. Sergei smiles. Game on. 10 p.m. Lights out. Viktor Sokolov sits on the upper bunk watching his new cellmate. He's been in Vladimir Central for 6 years. Seen hundreds of inmates come and go. Most cry their first night. Some pray. Others stare at walls in shock. Sergei Mavrodi is writing. On paper. By moonlight through the barred window. What are you doing? Viktor asks. Making a list. Of what? Everyone I've met today. Guards. Inmates. Kitchen staff. Maintenance workers. Their names. Their roles. Their needs. Viktor is confused. Why? Because everyone has something they want. And everyone has something they can offer. That's how economies work. This is prison, not an economy. Sergei looks up. Viktor, anywhere humans gather, there's an economy. Cigarettes. Food. Information. Protection. Favors. It's all currency. Prison is just more honest about it than the outside world. So what? You planning to open a prison bank? Something like that. Viktor laughs. You're insane. They'll break you in a month. We'll see. Sergei returns to his list. By morning, he's documented 47 people. Their positions. Their weaknesses. Their desires. Victor falls asleep thinking his cellmate is crazy. He doesn't know he's watching the birth of a financial empire. An empire that will eventually reach 110 countries. Ensnare 10 million people. Move billions of dollars. All starting from this 8 by 10 cell. Week 1. Sergei doesn't talk much. Just watches. Vladimir Central has its own ecosystem. Not official. Underground. The cigarette economy. Russian prison currency. Premium cigarettes worth 3 favors. Cheap ones worth 1. Non-smokers trade them like stocks. The food black market. Kitchen workers smuggle extra portions. Sell to highest bidders. Prices fluctuate based on supply. The protection racket. Strong inmates protect weak ones. Payment in commissary items or family money transfers. The information network. Who's getting released? Who's getting transferred? Who's in trouble? Information is valuable. Sergei maps it all. Mentally. Can't write it down. Too risky if guards search the cell. He notices patterns the other inmates don't see. Guard rotation changes every 6 hours. Shift change at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., midnight. That's when contraband moves. Maintenance workers have more freedom than inmates. They're the real power brokers. The phone system has a flaw. Calls are monitored, but only randomly. Maybe 1 in 20 gets listened to. Mail is inspected, but lightly. Guards are lazy. Overwhelmed. They skim letters, don't analyze them. The prison library has computers. Ancient. Offline. But functional. Allowed for educational purposes. By week 2, Sergei understands Vladimir Central better than men who've been there for years. Victor watches him. You're always thinking. What are you planning? I'm not planning anything. I'm just observing. Observing what? Opportunities. Victor doesn't understand. Not yet. But he will. Soon everyone will. Week 3. The Exercise Yard. February 2007. A young inmate, Alexei, approaches Victor. I need protection. The Chechens are threatening me. Your reputation, can you help? Victor shakes his head. Not my problem. Sergei interrupts. How much money does your family have? Alexei is surprised. What? Outside. Your family. Can they send money? Maybe. 5,000 rubles. Why? Victor will protect you. Your family sends 5,000 rubles to this account. Sergei writes something on a scrap of paper. Not to Victor's family. To this one. Whose account is that? A friend's. But Victor gets paid. 200 cigarettes. Premium. That's the deal. Victor is shocked. What are you doing? Sergei whispers to him later. That account belongs to my old associate. He'll hold the money. When you get out, you get paid. With interest. 7,000 rubles instead of 5,000. But for now, you protect the kid with cigarettes I'll give you. Where are you getting cigarettes? I'll buy them from your commissary account. You're not using them anyway. You don't smoke. Victor's mind is spinning. This is money laundering. In prison. No. This is liquidity management. The kid's family has cash, but can't get cigarettes into prison directly. You have commissary access, but no cash on the outside. I'm just making the market efficient. Within 2 weeks, Sergei brokers 5 similar deals. The Vladimir Central Financial Exchange is born. From a prison cell. Without internet. Using just paper, pencil, and human psychology. Month 2. March 2007. Russian prisons allow inmates to use computers for educational purposes. Writing appeals. Typing documents. Learning job skills. The catch? No internet. No USB ports. No external connections. These are isolated machines. Useless for communication. Unless you're Sergei Mavrodi. He requests access to the library computers for writing his memoirs. Approved. 3 hours weekly. On a clunky, offline laptop, Sergei starts typing. Not memoirs. Business documents. He creates entire business plans. marketing materials, investment prospectuses, pyramid scheme structures, all saved on the hard drive. What good is this without internet? Victor asks. Watch. Every week, Sergei's lawyer visits. Standard legal consultation. Allowed. Monitored. But only for verbal discussion. Except Sergei has a system. He types documents. Saves them to the laptop. Then, during his next library session, he accidentally leaves the laptop open to a specific document. When the librarian, who Sergei has paid in cigarettes, closes it, he actually reads the screen. Memorizes key numbers. The librarian tells his wife. The wife calls Sergei's associate. The associate gets the instructions. It takes 5 people and 4 days to transmit a single message. But it works. Within a month, Sergei is sending complex financial instructions from his offline laptop through a human chain to his associates in Moscow. No internet needed. Just a network of corrupted humans. The empire is expanding, and the authorities have no idea. Because how do you stop a message that travels through memory, whispers, and wives? Month 4. May 2007. Sergei's associates launch 2011. The sequel to his 1990s scam. This time it's global. Not just Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, India, South Africa, China, Nigeria. Eventually, 110 countries. The pitch is simple. Invest money. Get 100% returns monthly. Guaranteed. Forever. Mathematically impossible. Obviously, a pyramid scheme. Requires constant new investors to pay old ones. But people don't care. Because Sergei Mavrodi is a legend in Russia. He defrauded millions in the 90s, but many got rich before it collapsed. Those winners remember. They believe he can do it again. And he's doing it from prison. That makes him seem invincible. If he can build this from prison, imagine what he'll do when he gets out. The cult of Sergei Mavrodi grows. He doesn't promise legitimate returns. He tells the truth. This is a pyramid. It will eventually collapse. But if you get in early, you'll profit. It's a game. Play it wisely. Bizarre honesty. But it works. By month 6, 2011 has 100,000 participants. By year 1, 1 million. By year 3, 10 million worldwide. All directed by a man in Cell 47, Vladimir Central Prison, using an offline laptop and human messengers. The prison authorities know something is happening. Sergei gets visitors. His commissary account has money flowing in and out. But they can't prove anything. Because technically, he's not using prohibited technology. He's not breaking any prison rules. He's just thinking, planning, directing. And in Russia, ambition isn't illegal. Not yet. Year 1. January 2008. Sergei Mavrodi is the richest man in Vladimir Central. Not in money, in influence. He runs the cigarette exchange, the food market, the protection insurance system, the phone call lottery. He buys multiple inmates' phone slots, packages them, resells them. Inmates come to him like visiting a bank. Sergei, my family needs money. Can you arrange a loan? Sergei, I have 3 months left. Can you get me a job on the outside when I'm released? Sergei, I need to send a message to my brother. He owes me money. He solves every problem. For a fee. Or a favor. Or information he can use. Victor, his cellmate, is now essentially Sergei's bodyguard and enforcer. Paid handsomely. Protective. Loyal. You've turned this prison into your office, Victor observes. Every place is an office if you know how to use it. The guards tolerate it because Sergei keeps peace. Reduces violence. Inmates are happier. More cooperative. All because they believe if they help Sergei, they'll prosper. The warden knows. Doesn't care. Sergei's presence actually makes Vladimir Central easier to manage. It's a strange equilibrium. The prisoner running the prison economy with the implicit approval of authorities. As long as he doesn't escape. As long as he serves his time. They let him play his games. What they don't realize is the scale. 2011 isn't a game anymore. It's a global phenomenon. And all the strings lead back to self-47. Year 2, 2009. Sergei's associates need more than coded messages. They need his face, his voice, his charisma. 2011 is growing, but skeptics question if Sergei's really running it. Rumors spread that he's dead, that it's a fraud using his name. Solution? Video messages from prison. Impossible, right? Cameras are strictly prohibited. Even lawyers can't bring them into Vladimir Central. But Sergei has been building relationships for 2 years. Guards, kitchen staff, maintenance workers. Everyone owes him something. A sympathetic guard who lost money in the original but weirdly respects Sergei, smuggles in a small digital camera. Not a phone, just a camera. Less risky. During his library time, Sergei records 60-second videos, talking directly to camera, explaining 2011 strategy, encouraging investors, admitting it's a pyramid but promising early profits. Hello, my friends. This is Sergei Mavrodi speaking from Vladimir Central Prison. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm alive. And yes, 2011 is real. We are changing the world. The camera is smuggled out the same night. Videos uploaded to YouTube. Go viral. Millions watch. See their hero, their financial messiah, speaking from prison. Wearing prison uniform. Unbowed. Unbroken. Investment surge. 2011 doubles in size. Russian authorities investigate. How is a prisoner uploading videos? Impossible. Must be old footage. But it's not. Sergei releases new videos monthly. References current events. Proves he's actively leading. The FSB, Russian intelligence, is baffled. They monitor his cell, his visitors, his mail, his phone calls. Nothing. No evidence of how he's doing it. Because the camera leaves the prison the same night it enters. No trace. Perfect operation. The empire grows. And Sergei's legend becomes mythical. He's running a billion-dollar pyramid scheme from a cell with no internet. How is this even possible? Drop your theory in the comments. You won't believe what happens next. Year 2, 2009. Sergei isn't just a businessman. He becomes Vladimir Central's philosopher. He teaches financial literacy classes, approved by the prison as rehabilitation. Inmates learn about investing, economics, entrepreneurship. Of course, he's really teaching them how pyramid schemes work, how to recruit, how to convince skeptics. He's training his sales force. But it's legal. He's educating. Inmates worship him. Not for money, for hope. He shows them that poverty isn't permanent, that systems can be gamed, that intelligence beats strength. Young criminals who thought their only skills were violence learn they have brains, potential. Sergei sees it in them. You robbed a bank and got 20,000 rubles, he tells one inmate. Amateur. I stole billions with just ideas. Which is more powerful, gun or brain? The inmate is transformed. Start studying, reading, thinking. Sergei's influence extends beyond Vladimir Central. Released inmates spread his teachings. Join 2011 on the outside. Recruit others. The prison becomes a training academy for pyramid scheme operators. Victor observes it all. You're not running a business. You're running a cult. What's the difference? Sergei asks. All businesses require belief. I just make the belief explicit. But it will collapse. Pyramids always collapse. Yes. And everyone knows it. But they believe they'll get out before the collapse. They're gambling. I'm just running the casino. From a prison cell. Geography is irrelevant. Ideas travel anywhere. The philosopher king of Vladimir Central. Teaching financial crime as enlightenment. And getting away with it. Year 3, 2010. Governments worldwide issue warnings. 2011 is a pyramid scheme. Do not invest. Russia, Ukraine, India, South Africa, China, Nigeria. Every country sees the same pattern. Millions of citizens losing money. But warnings don't stop it. They accelerate it. Because Sergei Mavrodi never lied. He always said it was a pyramid. His pitch was, yes, it's a pyramid. But pyramids make early investors rich. The question is, will you be early or late? FOMO, fear of missing out, drives billions of dollars into the system. Russian authorities are furious. They imprisoned Sergei to stop him. Instead, he became more powerful. They consider solitary confinement. But they can't prove he's running 2011. No internet access. No phone calls with suspicious content. Nothing illegal in his communications. His lawyer, my client is in prison. Whatever 2011 is, he can't possibly be running it. He has no computer access. No phone. How would he even communicate instructions? It's the perfect defense. Plausible deniability. Because how can you prove a man is running a global empire from an offline laptop and human messengers? The FSB knows he's doing it. They just can't prove how. They interrogate guards. Monitor visitors more closely. Search his cell monthly. Find nothing. Because there's nothing to find. No phones. No contraband. Just a man, a laptop without internet, and ideas in his head. Ideas that travel through whispers, visits, and memory. The most dangerous contraband of all. Thoughts. And you can't search a man's mind. Month 38. February 2010. The warden summons Sergei for questioning. Accompanied by FSB agent and prosecutor. We know you're running 2011, the FSB agent says. We just need proof. Sergei shrugs. I'm in prison. How could I run anything? People visit you. You send letters. You use the computer. To write my memoirs. All permitted activities. The prosecutor leans forward. You're scamming millions of people. Am I? I've never asked anyone for money. I'm in prison. I have no bank accounts. No access to funds. Whatever 2011 is, I'm not benefiting. You'll benefit when you're released. Will I? Pyramids collapse. Everyone knows that. If 2011 collapses before my release, I get nothing. You're manipulating people. Sergei smiles. I'm teaching people about financial markets, about risk, about greed. If they choose to participate in risky investments, that's their choice. You're calling a pyramid scheme an investment. Is the stock market not a pyramid? Late investors pay more than early investors. Most lose money. Few win big. How is that different? The prosecutor is frustrated. That's not the same. Isn't it? The only difference is legality. But morality? Functionally? They're identical. I'm just honest about the structure. They can't counter his argument. Because philosophically, he's not wrong. They leave with nothing. No evidence. No confession. Just frustration. Sergei returns to cell 47. Smiles at Victor. Another day, another interrogation. They'll never understand. The system they protect is built on the same principles I use. I'm just more honest about it. Victor laughs. You're going to get away with this, aren't you? I already have. Year 4. 2011. Sergei Mavrodi's release date approaches. July 2011. After 4.5 years. 2011 is at its peak. 10 million participants worldwide. Billions of dollars flowing through the system. Investors are excited. When Sergei gets out, imagine what he'll do. With freedom, with internet, with no restrictions, we'll all get rich. The hype builds. Investment surges. Sergei spends his final months preparing, writing detailed plans, creating organizational structures, appointing regional leaders, all from his offline laptop, all transmitted through his human network. Victor will be released 3 months after Sergei. They've become friends, brothers, partners. What will you do when you're out? Victor asks. Scale it. 2011 was limited by prison constraints. Imagine what I can do with internet, with travel, with full freedom. It will collapse eventually. Of course. But the question is when. If I can keep it growing for 2 more years, millions more people will profit. That's success. And the ones who lose, they knew the risk. I never lied. The website says this is a pyramid scheme in capital letters. People choose to participate. That's not fraud. That's capitalism. Victor doesn't argue. After 4 years with Sergei, he's learned that conventional morality doesn't apply to this man. Sergei Mavrodi operates by his own code. And somehow, impossibly, it works. July 2011 approaches. Vladimir Central prepares to release its most profitable inmate. The empire awaits its king. July 22, 2011. Release day. Sergei Mavrodi walks out of Vladimir Central prison after 4 years, 6 months, and 9 days. International press is waiting. Cameras, reporters, investors, believers. Mr. Mavrodi, will you continue 2011? Mr. Mavrodi, did you run it from inside prison? Mr. Mavrodi, is it true you made millions while imprisoned? Sergei smiles. Calm. Confident. I don't know what you're talking about. I was in prison. I had no internet. No phone. How could I run anything? But his eyes tell a different story. Everyone knows the truth. He climbs into a waiting car. His associates greet him. Champagne. Celebration. How much? Sergei asks immediately. $3.2 billion currently in the system. 12 million active participants. Operations in 114 countries now. Sergei processes this. Built from a prison cell. With an offline laptop. Through human messengers. Not bad for a prisoner, he says. That night, he gives his first post-prison video address. Direct to camera. No longer in prison uniform. Free man. My friends, I'm back. And is just beginning. We proved that imprisonment can't stop ideas. Now imagine what we'll do with freedom. The video gets 5 million views in 24 hours. Investments pour in. $200 million in the next week alone. Sergei Mavrodi is free. The empire is growing. And the world is watching. But what they don't see is the clock ticking. Pyramids don't last forever. The math doesn't work. Collapse is inevitable. The only question is, when? And will Sergei disappear before it happens? 2011 to 2012 freedom. With internet access, Sergei transforms 2011 into a global machine. Website in 48 languages. Social media presence. YouTube videos daily. Sergei's video instructions become must-watch content for millions. He travels. India, South Africa, China, Nigeria, Colombia, Indonesia. Everywhere, crowds greet him like a rock star. Sergei, Sergei, Sergei. He gives stadium presentations. Teaches the Mavrodi philosophy. The current financial system is corrupt. Banks exploit people. Gives power back to ordinary citizens. Yes, it's a pyramid. But capitalism is a pyramid. We're just honest about it. People buy it. Literally. By 2012, 2011 has 15 million participants. $8 billion in total circulation. Sergei is personally wealthy. Lives modestly by billionaire standards, but comfortable. Apartment in Moscow. Office. Staff. Security. He's untouchable. Legally, he claims he's just an advisor to He doesn't control money. Participants send money to each other peer-to-peer. He just provides a platform. Clever legal structure. Hard to prosecute. Governments try. Russia issues warrants. India arrests local organizers. South Africa freezes accounts. But the structure is decentralized. No central account. No single point of failure. Shut down one country, it operates in 113 others. Sergei built it this way intentionally. While in prison, for years of planning, created an empire designed to be unkillable. And for 2 years it works, thrives, grows. But mathematics is undefeated. And pyramid math always ends the same way. The collapse is coming. The cracks appear. Nigeria collapses first. 3 million participants. Billions of naira lost. Riots. Suicides. Government investigation. Sergei releases a video. This is unfortunate. But I warned everyone. Pyramids collapse. The question was never if, but when. Those who got in early profited. Those who came late lost. That's the game. Cold, honest, brutal. But his followers still believe. Nigeria was just one branch. The main system is fine. India collapses. 5 million victims. $500 million lost. Warrants issued for Sergei's arrest. He doesn't travel to India anymore. Stays in Russia, where he's protected, famous, untouchable. South Africa collapses. 1 million participants. Hundreds of millions lost. The pattern is clear. Country by country, the system is failing. Not all at once, but systematically. Because that's how pyramids die. New investment slows. Can't pay old investors. Panic spreads. Collapse accelerates. Sergei knows this. Always knew. The math was clear from day one. His remaining followers ask, will you restart it? Perhaps. I'm considering 2020. Learning from past mistakes. Will 2020 be sustainable? No pyramid is sustainable. But it can last longer with better design. Astonishing honesty. He admits it's a scam. And people still want to participate. Because greed is stronger than logic. FOMO is stronger than wisdom. And Sergei Mavrodi understands human psychology better than anyone. That understanding made him powerful in prison. Made him billions in freedom. And will eventually make him a target. 2016 to 2017. Sergei is 60 to 61 years old. Is mostly dead. Some regions still operate, but the global system has collapsed. Estimated 30+ million people lost money worldwide. Total damage. Estimated $10+ billion. Governments worldwide want him. India, China, South Africa, Colombia. But Russia won't extradite him. He lives quietly in Moscow. Still gives occasional interviews. Still maintains he did nothing wrong. I was honest. I told everyone it was a pyramid. If they chose to participate, that's their decision. I'm not responsible for human greed. Technically, he's right. Morally, it's complicated. He plans 2020. Posts about it online. Fewer people listen now. The magic is gone. Too many burned investors. But some still believe. Sergei is a genius. He'll make us rich again. He won't. He can't. The model is exhausted. People earned. Or did they? Cryptocurrency boom begins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, ICOs. New pyramids. New schemes. Different branding. Same structure. Sergei watches with amusement. See? I was ahead of my time. Crypto is doing what did, but with technology instead of trust. He's not wrong. Many ICOs are essentially pyramid schemes with blockchain. But Sergei's moment has passed. He's old news. A relic of the pre-crypto scam era. He seems okay with that. Tired. Satisfied. He beat the system. Made billions. Served his time. Lived freely. What more could a con artist want? Maybe just to die before facing consequences. March 25, 2018. Moscow. Sergei Mavrodi collapses at a bus stop. Heart attack. Rushed to hospital. He's 62. Heart disease. Stress. Decades of schemes catching up physiologically. Victor, his old cellmate and friend, visits him in the hospital. They haven't spoken in months. Sergei, you're dying. I know. Funny, isn't it? Survived prison. Survived global manhunts. Killed by my own heart. Any regrets? Sergei thinks. No. I lived exactly as I wanted. I beat the system. Multiple times. I proved that intelligence beats authority. That ideas travel through walls. That prison can't contain ambition. You destroyed millions of lives. I gave millions of lives hope. Even if false hope. That's worth something. Is it? Victor, people spend their whole lives working for scraps. I gave them dreams. Dreams of wealth. Of escape. Yes, most lost money. But for a moment, they believed they could win. Isn't that valuable? You're rationalizing. Maybe. But I don't care. I lived free. In prison and out. That's success. Victor holds his hand. Goodbye, Sergei. Goodbye, my friend. Thank you for protecting me all those years. In cell 47. It was an honor. March 26, 2018. 2 a.m. Sergei Mavrodi dies. No family present. Just Victor. And a nurse. The man who ran a financial empire from prison. Who scammed billions with an offline laptop and human messengers. Who turned imprisonment into his most profitable business venture. Dead at 62. Heart failure. But his empire lives on. In copycat schemes. In crypto scams. In the eternal human belief that somehow they'll be the one who gets rich. Sergei's legacy. Proving that greed is immortal. March 26, 2018. News spreads. Sergei Mavrodi dead. Pyramid scheme mastermind dies at 62. Reactions are mixed. Victims celebrate. Good riddance. He destroyed my family. He stole my life savings. I hope he burns in hell. Followers mourn. R.I.P. to a legend. He was honest about the pyramid. People chose to participate. He gave us hope. Authorities breathe relief. Finally, the saga ends. No more MMM. No more Sergei videos. No more schemes. But they're wrong. Within weeks, copycat schemes emerge. MMM 2019. Mavrodi's legacy. New MMM. All claiming to continue his work. Sergei is dead. But the idea lives. Because that's what he proved in Vladimir Central prison. Ideas don't need their creator to survive. They just need believers. And there will always be believers. People desperate for wealth. Willing to gamble. Convinced they'll be different. They'll be early. They'll profit. The mathematics of pyramid schemes is simple. Most lose. Few win. Inevitable collapse. But psychology overrides mathematics. Hope beats logic. Greed beats wisdom. Sergei Mavrodi understood this better than anyone. He didn't invent pyramid schemes. Charles Ponzi did that. He just perfected them. Made them global. Ran them from prison. With no internet. Just intelligence, charisma, and an understanding of human nature. Final toll. 30 to 50 million victims worldwide. $10-15 billion estimated losses. 110 countries. Affected 0 years in prison after 2011. Served his sentence. Never charge again. He beat the system. Died free. Wealthy. Unrepentant. That's the Sergei Mavrodi story. April 2018. 1 month after Sergei's death. Viktor Sokolov stands at Sergei's grave. Simple headstone. No grand monument. You would have hated a big funeral. Viktor says to the stone. Too honest for that. He thinks back to cell 47. January 2007. The first night. You were supposed to be crazy. Writing lists. Observing patterns. Mapping the prison economy. I thought you'd be broken in a month. Instead, you ran the place. Became the king of Vladimir Central. Made money. Made followers. Made history. And you did it all with a laptop, without internet. With paper and pencils. With human messengers. You proved that technology isn't power. Intelligence is power. Victor lights a cigarette. Sergei's favorite brand. The same ones that became currency in Vladimir Central. You asked me if I had regrets. I'll ask you now. Do you regret anything? Silence. Just wind through the cemetery. No, you don't. You lived exactly as you wanted. Prison didn't break you. It made you stronger. Because you understood something most people don't. Freedom isn't about location. It's about mindset. You were more free in cell 47 than most people are in mansions. Victor drops the cigarette on the grave. Goodbye, Sergei. Thank you for showing me that walls are illusions. That authority is temporary. That ideas are unstoppable. He walks away. Leaves the mathematician. The scammer. The prison empire builder. Sergei Mavrodi. 1955 to 2018. Died free. Beat the system. Prove prison is just another market. And markets have no walls. 2018 to 2025, 7 years after Sergei's death. His legacy is everywhere, but invisible to most. Cryptocurrency pyramid schemes. BitConnect, OneCoin, Luna, FTX partially. All follow Sergei's model. Promise impossible returns. Use charismatic leaders. Create FOMO. Collapse inevitably. Social media MLMs, Instagram entrepreneurs. TikTok financial gurus. YouTube wealth coaches. All running soft pyramids. Recruiting downlines. Selling dreams. Meme stock pumps, GameStop, AMC, crypto tokens. Not traditional pyramids, but similar psychology. Early investors pump. Late investors hold bags. Sergei didn't invent greed, but he systematized it, made it teachable, proved it works even from prison. His philosophical defense lives on. I'm just providing opportunity. If people choose to participate in risky investments, that's their choice. I'm not forcing anyone. Crypto exchanges say the same thing. We're just a platform. If users choose risky coins, that's their decision. Social media companies say it too. We just host content. If influencers promote scams, that's not our responsibility. Sergei's playbook became the internet's playbook. Promise extraordinary returns, create FOMOs, social proof. Others are profiting. Blame victims, you should have known better. Operate in legal gray areas, disappear or die before consequences. It works. Still. Always. Because human psychology hasn't changed. Greed. Desperation. Hope. These are constants. Sergei Mavrodi understood constants. And constants don't die with their discoverer. His empire fell. But his empire of ideas? Immortal. That's the real legacy of Cell 47. Not the money. The methodology. What did Sergei Mavrodi prove? Lesson 1. Geography is irrelevant. Prison. Freedom. Different countries. Doesn't matter. If you understand human psychology and information networks, you can operate anywhere. Lesson 2. Technology is overrated. He ran a global empire with an offline laptop. While tech bros claim you need cutting-edge tools, Sergei proved you need cutting-edge thinking. Lesson 3. Honesty can be the best scam. He told people this is a pyramid, you will probably lose money. And they invested anyway. Radical honesty disarms skepticism. Lesson 4. Systems have exploitable flaws. Prison systems, financial systems, legal systems, all have gaps. Intelligence finds and exploits them. Lesson 5. Authority is performance. Guards had physical authority. Sergei had intellectual authority. Intellectual authority won. Every time. Lesson 6. People want to believe. In wealth. In shortcuts. In miracles. Give them a believable story. They'll ignore mathematics. Every time. Lesson 7. Ideas are the ultimate contraband. You can search cells. Monitor calls. Restrict internet. But you can't search minds. Ideas travel through whispers, memory, and human networks. Unstoppable. Lesson 8. Consequences are negotiable. Sergei served 4.5 years for defrauding millions. Built a bigger empire during and after. Died free and wealthy. The system punished him, but he won. Lesson 9. Greed is the ultimate renewable resource. Pyramids collapse. Victims warn others. But new victims always emerge. Because greed is infinite, eternal, regenerating. Lesson 10. The house always wins. Unless you are the house. Sergei was always the house. Participants were players. House doesn't lose. These lessons are why Sergei Mavrodi matters. Not as a criminal, as a case study in human nature, system exploitation, and the power of ideas. From Cell 47, Vladimir Central Prison, he taught the world these lessons. And the world is still learning them. One pyramid scheme at a time. Sergei Mavrodi ran a billion-dollar empire from a prison cell with no internet. He proved that walls can't contain ideas. For more stories about the most brilliant criminal minds in history, subscribe now. You won't believe what's possible.